So I heard from each one of you that there are many things that you'd like to know about networking today. So we're going to take a look at what we can do, where we can do it, and some other little tidbits or helping hints that might help you when you are out there networking. So if at the end there are still questions, we'll allow some time for question and answer. However, if you have a burning question that you don't want to forget, right, as we're going through it, feel free to just, shout out a question and we'll answer it right away. If you take us off on a tangent, oh well, that's where we're supposed to be. So what can you do? So the first thing I always say to everyone is if you're living in your cave and you're staying in your cave every day, which I'm sure you're not or you wouldn't be here, then think about getting the jackhammer out and digging your way out of that cave, because you're not going to meet anyone that can help you while you're staying in that cave. And that cave could be your car, it could be the grocery store when you go to get groceries, it could be your own home, it could be sitting in front of the computer. But my feeling is you need to get out and get active with people, because it'll help you to have that positive feeling also. There's nothing worse than sitting in your home and having little voices inside your head say, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're a failure. And I can tell you that I know about those little voices, because I'd like to share a little bit about what happened to me in 1993. I moved here in 1992 from the Detroit area. And I worked for a major company in that area, and I was the sales manager, sales trainer. When I moved to here, they asked me if I would help to manage the sales teams in St. Louis and in Pittsburgh, because those sales teams were not large enough to justify having a full-time sales manager. And I said, sure, I'd love to do that. Figured it was a great way to start a new marriage, especially when both of us were over 40. We probably didn't need to be with each other 7 days a week, At the end of that year, I had been very successful. Those sales teams were up and running. The salespeople were feeling great about their success. And I went to Detroit for a monthly meeting, and they said, you have done a great job. We don't need you anymore. So I was pretty shocked, pretty devastated, and felt pretty rejected. And I spent about 3 months in my garden that summer, plucking any weed that dared to put its head up above the ground. It's the best garden I've ever had. Haven't had a good one since then. But the voices inside my head were just like I mentioned. Who do you think you are? You thought you were a success all this time. You were fooling yourself. And finally, the voices shut off, even though I was in my cave, which was the garden, which was lucky. And as a result of me doing that thinking time, I did start my own business, which is what I'm doing today. I think, though, that it wouldn't have taken 3 months if I had gotten out and talked with people, but I was new to the area. I had been flying out every Monday morning on an airplane to other areas, so a year into being in this area, living in this area, I really didn't know anyone except for my husband. So he was wonderful, he came home every night, but it still took me a while to get those voices out of my head. I challenge you to plan your week so you're out of your house at least 5 days. And, whether it's the weekend or just make it 5 out of the 7, make it a goal. I am going to meet with someone five times this week, because it'll change your morale. So that's a bit of the what, and we'll get into more of the what when we talk about where you can network. Because if you don't know where to go, then you're like, well, what am I going to do with these 5 times?